Today we have with us Trevor Seaton, Disaster Coordinator and Trainer at the St. Kitts and Nevis Red Cross Society. Trevor will give us some insight as to World First Aid Day and the critical role of the Red Cross Society in the Federation. Good morning, Trevor, and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning. Morning to you.
So, is this year's theme of lifelong first aid appropriate?
It is appropriate because first aid is a lifelong learning skill that you can take with you throughout life. Once you learn the techniques of first aid technique change over time, but not much. And so the skills that you learn today can benefit you going forward in life. And the theme also suggests that learning first aid, being able to provide first aid to someone, you can provide assistance that would preserve their life for a long time to come as well.
That's very important indeed. I have to say that I'm envious of you for acquiring that skill, because first aid is something that I've always wanted to learn. And I'm grateful for your being here today, because I'm looking forward to some of what you have in store, particularly when we come back. You work for the Red Cross. How long have you been working there?
Quite a long time. I joined during my primary school years. As a youngster, I was very much interested in the first aid aspect of it, and also the disaster work that the Red Cross is involved in. So I stuck with it over the years.
And you made a career out of it. That's incredible.
Yes.
I was just going to think about the 3 Ps. Is it the 3 Ps are
Preserve life,
preserve,
prevent the condition getting worse,
promote.
and promote recovery.
Okay.
So those are the aims of first aid. Preserve life. You want to be able to stop bleeding, to do CPR, do what is necessary to preserve the life of the person that you're treating. And the second P, prevent the condition getting worse. As people get sick, you don't want them to get worse. If they have injuries like fractures, you want to handle them properly to prevent the condition getting worse. And the last one is to promote recovery, because you want them to be able to get back into productive life and to continue their livelihood activities. So you want to be able to promote recovery.
Sounds like Hortensia has experience, which I should expect, because you needed to have experience in your former life as a flight attendant.
Yes,
so that makes perfect sense. So I'm the newbie here, not her. So be patient with me, I beg you. All right, so when was the St. Kitts and Nevis Red Cross Society established?
The St. Kitts and Nevis Red Cross first came into existence as a branch of the British Red Cross in 1942. And after we got independence in '83, we were recognized by the International Red Cross as a national society in 1985. So under the International Red Cross umbrella, we are a young national society from '85 to now. Yes.
So you're 37 years old.
Yeah.
Good for you. So how many volunteers do you currently have, and what are some of the areas that they are trained in?
We have just under maybe 200 volunteers between St. Kitts and Nevis. And some of the general areas, well, first aid is one, the major part, disaster preparedness, response. We have some involved in the water safety program. That is teaching persons to swim with safety information, and basic like waterfront rescue. We have persons involved in peer education in HIV. We have persons involved in youth programs activities. Quite a number of areas. We have community disaster response team that respond in the community in times of disasters or emergencies. And so it's quite a number of areas. And of course, we invite persons who have other expertise that we can use to the benefit of the National Society, administrative skills, IT skills, and stuff like that. Yeah.
A follow-up question: why, my voice? Why is there only 200 volunteers when we have thousands of persons living on St. Kitts and Nevis?
Well, we find that a lot of youngsters, as they go to high school and maybe college, they have less time, and as they go into the workplace, again, that may contribute to the limited time. So persons tend to volunteer once they settle down in life. So we have the very young, up to maybe high school, a few in college, and quite a number after they settle down in their workplace or family life.
All right, here's a question for you concerning the presence of the Red Cross at the Independence Parade. There's usually a Red Cross tent
Yes.
there. What can you tell us about that? Why is there a Red Cross tent at the Independence Parade?
Well, as you recognize from the Independence Parade, you normally have persons who may not have breakfast or stand in the heat for a very long time. They may faint and or feel sick. And so the Red Cross tent is there to provide that assistance, to remove them from the field of parade, to help them to refresh, maybe give them something warm to drink, and get a chance to rest and then go back on the parade square. So we provide that support to the armed units as well as the unarmed unit. Many years ago, the St. John Ambulance was involved in that activity, but they have since faded away, and so the Red Cross is the primary agency that provides that service annually.
Trevor's going to give us a demonstration on how to perform CPR.
Yes,
I've been
Trevor,
waiting all my life for this, Trevor, believe it or not.
Okay. So we use a mannequin to demonstrate how to do CPR because this cannot be done on someone who is breathing. Otherwise, we would disrupt their heart rhythm and their breathing system. So the practice is done on a mannequin. So CPR is provided to someone who does not have a pulse or breathing. So after we check someone to see if they're conscious, by tapping on the shoulder and shouting at the person, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And maybe pinching the person's earlobe, and they don't respond. Then we take it that this person is unconscious. And in that case, then we would get someone to call for the ambulance because this person is unconscious, or we may run and make the call and come back. So after we have done that, we come back, open the airway, and we check to see if they have a pulse. So we feel the pulse, and we listen for 5 to 10 seconds, checking for a pulse and breathing. And we can count it down: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. There is no pulse. So once they are not breathing and there is no pulse, then we begin to do CPR. And we start out by doing, giving 30 chest compression.
30?
Yes, 30.
30, okay.
Yeah.
3-0.
So the heel of the hand we place in the center of the chest, and we place the other hand over, and we have to be directly over the person, and we compress down on the chest.
How much force do you use to do that?
Well, it all depends on the body structure, but because some persons are more muscular, but the aim is to go down between 1.5 to 2 inches,
Okay.
Giving 30 chest compressions. At the end of the 30 chest compressions, we would give 2 breaths. Now, in order to give the breaths, because the nostrils and the mouth are connected, the air passages are connected, we will have to seal off the nose by pinching the nose shut and cover the entire mouth and give 2 breaths, 3 seconds apart. So you give 1 breath, You move your mouth 1 and 2, and on 3, you give the second breath.
So you're holding this for the whole time?
Yes.
During...
Yes.
Okay, great.
Now, some persons may not want to put their mouth directly to another person's mouth, so they can use a barrier, like a piece of plastic, or they can use a plastic glass over the mouth. So you place this over the mouth and nose, pinch, and you blow through. For some institutions, they may have a face mask in the first aid kit that they place over nose and mouth. It has a one-way valve that you blow through the valve, and the stale air would not come back into your mouth. So you cover. And so you give 5 cycles of 30 compressions, 2 breaths.
I just ask you one question concerning that. So in terms of the 30 compressions, what are the intervals between each compression? Does it matter?
There's a rhythm, and you can count it out, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, right up to 30. And so you give 30 chest compressions followed by 2 breaths. 30 compressions, 2 breaths for 5 cycles. At the end of which you would check again for breathing and circulation. No breathing, circulation, you would continue until you see signs of life, the ambulance arrive to take over, or you're too tired to continue, which is a hard decision. You have to decide to, give up, or the scene becomes unsafe, or someone comes with an AED.
Gotcha.
So the AED is an automated external device that administers a shock to the heart to restart. Yes, it's automated external.
Okay.
And so it has these pads that tells you where to place the pads on the chest.
Okay.
So
So
that one goes on the chest.
on the upper portion of the chest. And so these are being used quite a few times, so they may not stick.
Okay.
But they're for training purposes only.
Okay.
And so this is
This is a training device only. No shot will be delivered.
so you plug in the connector.
Analyzing rhythm.
So it will analyze the rhythm. So what is analyzing, you will have to stand clear, not touch the person.
Shock advised.
Shock advice,
Charging.
discharging.
Everyone stand clear. Everyone stand clear. Push the shock button.
Push the shock
Shock
button,
delivered.
shock delivered,
5 cycles of
and then
CPR.
you go back to doing your CPR.
Okay.
So that's what this is all about. And so persons can be trained how to use this device.
Okay.
as
So you
part
said
of
this
training.
is just for training.
Yes,
So we cannot take this out on the field.
and do a
So if anything happens to Jamie, I cannot use this on Jamie, right?
absolutely not. No.
Okay, no problem. Just making sure, that I just have to do my CPR just to resuscitate Jamie.
All right, I say baby there is the same
So
thing.
don't you want to try? Oh, the baby. Want to try?
Sure, why not?
Okay, 30 compressions.
So we are going to do like this. And we go
Stand directly over the
stand
person.
directly over. And
Square
I
up your shoulders
of
and
course.
everything, yeah.
Tiptoe if you have to. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
You have to
and
keep
5
your
and
fingers
6
out.
And 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. And I can count to 30 as I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, so obviously this will be done on the ground.
Yes.
And so you'll be more directly over the person
Yeah.
while you're
Sometimes
compressing.
kneeling. Okay. Yes. What about the baby though? Are
For
the
the
steps the
baby,
same?
That's
basically
okay.
the same. For the baby, instead of putting the heel of well, first of all, the baby's face is much smaller. And so your mouth will have to go over both nose and mouth. So you would not be able to pinch the nose shut. And for the baby, you have this smaller resuscitation mask if you have to use that as well. So both nose and mouth will be covered. And for the compressions, you use 2 fingers in the center
Yeah.
instead of the,
that.
Yeah, you don't want to
Keep
mash
the
up the
pressure on
ribs.
True. And for the baby, you would not want to blow as hard as you would for an adult because the lungs are very small and you can easily pop the lung. So you just give pops of air. And you give 30 compressions in the center of the chest and 2 breaths. And you can perform it on a desk like this.
Okay, for
So-
the baby.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
a
so you
baby.
can.
Wow.
Wanna try it?
Hortensia, I think you're right.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I want Jamie to do it.
You're good.
Jamie, because I know how to do it, so I want you to get the
That's
practice.
fine. I just wanted to see you.
No,
you don't have to put
just
your-
one,
just
one
one
set
hand.
of hands.
Just one set of
Yeah,
hands.
so
One
one
set
hand
of
one could be
fingers.
on just holding the head.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes.
The other one.
Guys, I really don't know how to take care of
See?
babies.
Do you
It's
see why I
unfortunate.
want Jamie to
It's really
practice?
unfortunate. This is why you have to learn. You have to learn. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And then the mask would be here after.
Or your
all of those.
or your
can
entire
cover-
mouth. And remember to always keep the airway open.
Yeah, but
So
for
you're
the
like
baby,
that.
you wouldn't want to tilt the head as far back because you can shut off
The airway.
the airway. So
Okay.
you just slightly
Wow.
up, just slightly above normal.
Okay.
And another difference is that the baby, you would not take the pulse
There you have to check it.
at the neck. Instead, you
In the
will
arm.
feel the inside the arm brachial pulse
Yeah.
in the arm instead. So that's the other difference.
Would you ever shock the baby? Is there?
Yes, there is a small pad
Oh,
here for the baby as well.
okay.
And so the difference here again is that one pad is placed on the chest
And
and the other one on the back.
Oh, on the back.
Yeah, the back of the baby. Yes.
Okay. Well, I apologize. We seem to be running out of time.
Why?
But
Every time we're having fun.
every time we're starting to have fun and learn, it seems that way. Anyway, I do
Yeah.
apologize. But I thank you, Trevor, for coming by and sharing this with us, especially the demonstrations, because I'm pretty sure that there are people at home who are watching and
Yes.
thinking, you know what, I don't know how to do this, but now I know. Quickly, numbers for the Red Cross, just in case anybody wants to volunteer or needs to contact you.
They can call 465-2584. That's the number at the office. Or they can send an email to info.sknrcs@gmail.com. And for training, you can send an email to training.sknrcs@gmail.com.